What's up, guys? My name is Jermain, and welcome back to another brand new episode of It's Not That Deep. What are y'all mad about today? Me? Crickets. Why? No other reason besides the fact that they just keep getting in my way. I never think about a cricket. I never remember that they exist. They mean nothing to my existence as a human being up until I'm trying to do something or record in the quiet. Like, I have no idea how there's so many crickets around right now, but there are like tons of crickets and I can just like hear them. So hopefully you can't hear them. If you can, I apologize in advance, but just, I don't know, use it as let's pretend this is being recorded at night. Okay. So anyways, did you do some self-care this week? For real? I'm proud of you. Or shaking my head, whichever applies. But okay, so you ever wipe the mirror and the smudge is still there? Like you just can't get it clean? Yeah. That ain't the glass. That's you. This episode is about what happens when the problem isn't out there anymore. It's not your job. It's not your ex. It's not your childhood. It's your reflection. And whether you're ready to look at it without flinching. Because self-awareness ain't pretty. It's confrontational. It's messy. So when the mirror's finally clean, can you handle what's staring back at you? That wasn't rhetorical either. Stop getting angry at the bathroom mirror. The glass isn't streaky and dirty. No, that's you. You ever clean the mirror and there's still a mark? You wipe it again and again, but it's still there, pissing you off. Yeah, that's because it's not the mirror, it's you. It's your skill. It's how you're applying it. A lot of y'all think you're doing the inner work, but really we're just wiping the glass and hoping you don't have to look at what's on you. Now look, I'll call myself out first. So I got this little cousin, right? And we're close, but lately she's been really pissing me off. She's 17, irresponsible, careless, self-centered. She prioritizes her friends, sleep, whatever's fun over school. She don't take any accountability for her life. Like, just everything is someone else's fault, right? Her mom makes her play volleyball. She's always able-bodied to do whatever she wants, but when it's something she needs to do to apply herself to, all of a sudden her head hurts. She's too afraid of people to work, and it's just been like, I don't know. I've been so disappointed. I've barely even talked to her because she's brilliant, and it pisses me off because she's creative and passionate and gifted and skilled and empathetic and good with animals and like bugs and stuff. Like, I look at her and I see a world of possibilities, right? And the privilege to do anything and be anything she wants to be. I just be wanting her to lock in and really go do great things. But she wants to nap, some noodles, and to leave the kitchen messy no matter how much her mom preaches about it. So, of course, I'm thinking, why don't you want a job? Why don't you care about your sport? Why aren't you acting like life is handing you problems when it's actually handing you privilege? And then it hit me. She's just a teenager. She's got a mom. She's got grandparents. She's not out here trying to survive the way I was when I was 17. Because at her age, both my parents were dead. Gone. I was taking care of myself. I had a brother who was addicted to drugs that I was taking care of at the same time. I had to work as much as possible just to stay afloat. I did online school while everyone else was at homecoming. Like, I wasn't even mad at her on purpose. I just didn't understand. I didn't get how someone could have so many options and not want to use any of them. Like, why wouldn't you want a job when you get to keep all of your money? Why wouldn't you take your sport seriously when people actually show up to support you? Like, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It didn't make sense to me. I wanted her to do all the things I never got to do. And when she didn't, it just triggered something I didn't even know was like sitting in me. And here I am, low key projecting all of that onto her The real question wasn't what's wrong with her life or what's wrong with her. It was, why does her lack of urgency bother me so much? Why does it bother me that she's just being a teenager? And the answer, the glass ain't dirty. I'm just looking at my own unhealed shit through her life. I'm not even mad at her. I'm mad at my past. I'm mad that I never got to be that carefree. I'm mad that nobody showed me grace at 17. And now I'm out here holding her to a standard built from my own pain. Yeah, that was a hard one to admit, but that's the work. Now I'm still 10 toes down on her head, at least through high school, but I am going to lighten up just a little bit, just a bit, because real self-awareness ain't a journal prompt. It's when the glass is clean and you still don't like what you see. Everybody wants to look out, right? Stare out the window. What's wrong with my friends? What's wrong with my job? What's wrong with the world? Everything. But nobody wants to like look in, stare back. We've been conditioned to stare out the window. And when you do that too long, you start thinking everything out there is the problem. Like, have you ever just sat in a parked car? Like you're just looking through the windshield and it just feels like the world's moving, but you're just sitting there. You ain't moved an inch. Like I recommend anyone who's never just sat in your car in an empty or almost empty parking lot and just had a moment, a breakdown, a crash out, anger, tears, smashing the steering wheel, pulling the visor down to look at yourself at various points of the experience just to see like what's looking at you in that mirror. What does that pain show you? Then when you drive away, you feel relief and then like you're ready to lock in. Those are really my favorite experiences. The LA Fitness parking lot used to see some things for real. But that's what this healing shit can feel like sometimes. You're watching everyone else go through it, go through life, breakups, glow ups, therapy, shadow work, and you start thinking, okay, cool. I'm growing too. But are you? Or are you just sitting in a parked life watching other people do the work? And let's be honest, windows are comfortable, mirrors aren't. You can critique through a window, you can judge, you can say they're toxic, he's broken, she's dramatic, all while never having to look at your own patterns. But a mirror is different. A mirror's quiet. A mirror don't care about your excuses. It don't validate you. It don't lie for you. A mirror shows you the parts of yourself you've been hiding, and it doesn't look away just because you do. Sometimes the moment you stop looking out and start looking in, it breaks you. For example, I think a lot about that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air scene, right? The one where Will's dad like walks out on him again and he's trying to act all unbothered. He's saying all the right things. He got the tough guy front on, and then like he just breaks. He hits that wall and he says like, "Why don't he want me, man?" Saddest shit ever for real. Like that was crazy. But that line right there, that's the mirror. That's when all the deflecting stops, all the jokes, all the distractions, all the bravado is just gone. And what's left is the real you, the part that hurts, the part you never show. And that's when you know you're not looking through a window anymore. You're staring straight at your own shit. Everybody wants a Love Jones type of love story until you realize the two of them were toxic as hell. Nina didn't know what she wanted. Darius was like emotionally constipated, and they were just both projecting, both avoiding, playing games, but then like playing it off and calling it chemistry. But it wasn't love. That wasn't love. That was just two people using each other as distractions. Two people standing in front of mirrors, refusing to look and flirting through the trauma instead. We call it romantic, but if you look close, that whole relationship was just a window. It was really a window. Nobody was trying to grow. They were just trying to win. It takes courage and audacity to look in the mirror, to truly see yourself, not to be ashamed, not to place blame, but just to fucking own it, all of it. The parts you've outgrown, the ones you still hide in, the ones you swear you fixed but never actually touched. Yeah. And this isn't about being perfect. It's about being real with yourself. When's the last time you looked at your own reflection and said, what am I actually responsible for? What am I still blaming other people for? Ask those questions. Who have I been too scared to apologize to because I'm afraid I'll have to change? What real root causes are causing you to have dysfunction and chaos in your life? Questions. It's easier to look out the window and think you're evolving. Duh. It's easier to do that than it is to face the mirror and admit that you've been stuck. Because you can't grow in a place that you refuse to own. So own it unapologetically. Always. But just because you know better doesn't mean you'll do better. I know. A lot of people think being self-aware is the finish line. Like, well, I know I self-sabotage. Yeah, I know I got trust issues. Oh, I know I shut down in relationships. Okay. And you want a cookie? You think that just knowing the pattern is enough to break it? Being self-aware without taking action is just a well-lit cage. But please don't take this as me saying self-awareness doesn't matter. No. The people need you to be self-aware. Please, I beg. But that's one point. You still got 9 more to go. Because you see everything. You see everything. But you're still stuck inside. Because you're looking out that window instead of pivoting. Because the work don't start when you realize it. The work starts when you move different, when you implement change. I can't tell you how many times I've called myself out and did the same shit again in 48 hours. Probably less. Something really simple I'm fighting right now is I want to be a 5 a.m. riser, right? But that, and I want, not because like the community tells me to, but because I truly feel like my anxiety is way better and I get way more shit done when I wake up early and I feel like I have a jump start on my day. But starting my day at like 11, 12 o'clock, like I'm tired by like 8, 9 p.m. Like I can't be up until midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning anymore. But my goal is to be a 5 a.m. riser, right? But that requires me to go to bed at like 10 or 11 because I'm not 19 anymore. But I can't seem to get to bed before like 1 a.m. every day. I say I'm going to be. So I've been saying like I'm going to be ready for bed by 8 p.m. But then I crawl in the bed and look at my phone and it's like 1:18 a.m. What I'm avoiding looking at in the mirror is my severe, deeply rooted time management issues. And yet, not today. But that's why I don't glorify awareness anymore, because awareness without accountability and change is just an ego in a new outfit. And some of y'all got the nerve to flex it. I'm just really self-aware. Cool. But what are you doing with it? Because if all you're doing is collecting red flags and calling it growth, you're not healing. You're just memorizing your own bullshit. Congratulations. And listen, I've done it too. I mean, I've had moments where I'm like, damn, I see it. I get it now. And then go right back to default because knowing is comfortable. Doing requires sacrifice. Doing requires losing people. Doing requires grieving old versions of yourself. A lot of fucking shadow work. And most people don't want to pay that price. It's like having a gym membership and thinking that means you're in shape. Just because you can name the muscle don't mean you're using it. But it isn't all about dramatic trauma. No, it's not all about dramatic trauma loops. No, there's everyday quiet as lies that feel small but add up. Like, I'll be real with you. one of the biggest lies I tell myself through that window, we can do it later. Fuck, we can do it later, Jermaine. We got this. I know you said that if you wanted to plan these 4 hours to do this, but let's just reblock this 4 hours for tonight between like 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. when everything's quiet. Like, we can do it later. It's such a fucking epidemic in my life. That one line has single-handedly held me back more than any person ever could. I tell myself that about everything. Respond to that text? I'll do it later. Wash those clothes? Later. Call my aunt back? Later. File my taxes? Whoo. I'm a proud April 15th type of man, I guess. That's because I'm always looking at burnout talk and relax and reset. No, Jermaine, not you. You've relaxed enough. You've lived in your head enough. You, sir, need to actually keep it pushing. You're not burnt out. You will make sure you get your time to relax and reset. File those damn taxes today. Respond to that damn message. Check on Aunt Mary. Damn. But here's what I've learned about me. If I don't do it right when it hits my mind, it's not getting done. Period. Right away. I don't need more time. I need more action. That's me personally. Because I'm not lazy. I'm just stuck in this like loop where knowing I need to do something tricks me into thinking I'm actually gonna do it. And then time passes, nothing gets done, and I end up mad at myself, not because I didn't know better, but because I knew and then still ignored it. Like that mirror moment. Awareness without action is just spiritual procrastination. You know better, but you keep waiting to feel ready. Newsflash, you're never going to feel ready. And that's why most people never change, to be honest. So are you ready to be honest? At some point, you got to stop saying I'm working on it and actually work on it, Jermaine. You got to stop saying I'm trying, Jermaine, when you're really just talking. You know how to pretend to be self-aware. And you know how to say all the right things. You know how to sound deep. But are you really actually ready to get honest and look in that mirror? Like brutally honest with yourself? No external influences? Because here's the truth that most people won't tell you. Some of y'all don't even want to heal. I was there. Like there's certain parts, like I said, don't have time for everything right now, but you have to be real with that. Some of y'all just don't want to heal. You just want to feel less guilty about not changing. You want to be liked. You want to be understood, but you don't want to be held accountable. Cool. Got it. You want to talk about boundaries, but you don't want to enforce them. Cool. Got it. You want to post about your triggers, but you don't want to trace them back to their root. Okay, cool. Got it. And I get it. It's scary. There's a certain grief that comes with real honesty because you start to look back at all the years you spent lying to yourself and all the relationships you let die because you didn't have the tools, all the time you wasted waiting to feel ready. But you know what's scarier than that? Staying the same. Waking up one day at 45, 50, or 60 and realizing you built your life around a version of yourself that was never real to begin with. Ugh. So I'll ask again, are you ready to be honest? Am I ready to be honest? Not just in your head, not just in my journal, but not just on those random days when life actually shows up and humbles you, but day to day, conversation to conversation, decision to decision. Are you ready? Are we ready? Because the truth, the moment you choose honesty, that real, uncomfortable, call yourself out honesty, that's the moment you start to wake up and really heal for real. So where am I at with all this? You might ask. Of course, same thing applies here. Never going to sit in front of you and do that cliche, I'm not perfect thing. Y'all already know that, but I will say this. I think I'm making the most progress with this stuff in therapy right now because every time I bring up a problem, we're not just talking about the symptoms. We're doing straight root cause analysis. What's under this? What's been sitting in me that built this whole tree of behaviors? I've gotten way better at seeing that a lot of what I feel on the surface, the anger, the disappointment, the resentment, is just a signal. And if I follow that signal deep enough, I can usually find the anchor. Like, yeah, I'm mad, but what's under that? Rejection, neglect, fear. I've started writing that stuff down. Surface emotion on one side, possible root cause on the other side of the page. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not, but it's helping. And at the same time, I'm also working on just like not overdiagnosing everything. Not everything needs a 3-part explanation. Not everything is some deep, unhealed core wound. Sometimes a bad day is just a bad day. Sometimes the vibe is just off. That's it. Sometimes things happen that don't need to be processed to death because I do that too. I overprocess. I turn small moments into these grand statements about who I am and where I'm broken. But I'm really starting to believe that innocent things happen too. That innocence still exists. Not everything is a sign. Some things are just life. I had some help with this because I have a friend to thank in part for this realization. We were talking about something that was going on in my life as we were just going on and on. I was just going off about like, well, maybe this is a sign for that. And maybe this meant this, and maybe that meant that, and maybe it's all connected, truthfully. And they just finally go, stop thinking everything is a sign and connected. Some shit just happens how it happened. You're making me nervous and full of anxiety listening to all this everything is connected shit. And I just like really like started laughing. Like I laughed because I'm like, nah, I do kind of sound like a former CIA operative who just like is convinced, like a conspiracy theorist, like about life, to be honest, sometimes. Because like it's interesting and I get curious, but then I'm like, okay, calm down. Because they were dead right. They were dead serious and they were right. Everything doesn't have to be a clue. Everything doesn't have to be a lesson. And maybe part of facing the mirror is learning when to just look and not always fix what you see. I don't know. That doesn't mean don't change. Please, that doesn't mean don't change. But it does mean don't overanalyze every little thing. It's about knowing the difference between what needs your attention and what needs your acceptance. How's your mirror looking? Check in with it, but don't flinch. And don't overanalyze it because at the end of the day, it's not that deep. But thank you for diving into this topic with me on today's episode. We'll talk soon. And in the meantime, between time, take care of yourself and don't feel bad about it at all. For real. I'm just that.